The end of World War I in late 1918 meant the end of the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman province of Aleppo included the port city of Alexandretta on the coast and a great amount of territory in what later became the Republic of Turkey. The Sykes-Picot Agreement of 1916 has great importance because of how it divided the Ottoman Empire's land up under control by the British and French and established national borders that remain today. Negotiations behind this agreement also allowed the Allies to use Alexandretta as a free port. This action played a role in the later determination that the Allied powers would control Alexandretta and its nearby territory following the war. After the Armistice of Mudros of 1918 was signed, the British moved in to govern the area around Alexandretta that came to be considered as under administrative unity in Zone W of Allied or British military occupation. However, the British did not rule Alexandretta for long. The next year, in November 1919, the British withdrew and Alexandretta officially came under French civil control. The French immediately set out to define exact borders in order to better control the territory. It was very important for the French administrators to recognize and abide by definitive lines. An event in late 1918 was only the first step of many over several years through various political demands and treaties to establish the Sanjak of Alexandretta as an official territory of a unique nature. Administratively, the Sanjak came into existence on the 30th of October 1918, when Allied military fiat partitioned the former Ottoman vilayet of Aleppo and joined four of its causes, Antioch, Alexandretta, Haram, and Beilan, into a single more manageable unit. After defining solid boundaries, the French moved ahead to consolidate their power within the territory. However, it was not just the French who had ideas on where the border should be. On 3rd of November 1918, in a circular sent to the military and civil authorities of southern Anatolia, commenting on the armistice clauses stipulating the evacuation of Syria, commander of the Lightning Armies Group, Mustafa Kemal Pasha, later known as Kemal Ataturk, considered as the northern boundary of Syria, a line which began from Ras ibn Han on the Mediterranean, 10 kilometers north of Latakia, and covered Iskenderun, Antakya, and their environs, as well as a notable part of the province of Aleppo. It is worth noting that Ataturk's belief of where the frontier line between Turkey and Syria should be established also followed the linguistic boundary between Turkic and Arabic speakers. However, according to Gluchlu, the Sanjak was the only part of the new Turkey-Syrian border that was not split along linguistic lines. This would come to cause issues later on. Yet some of the boundaries defined by the Sykes-Picot Agreement were changed after a short period of time. The San Remo Conference of April 1920 settled how the Middle East would be governed and redrew the borders of former Ottoman provinces to become mandates. The new mandates were awarded conditionally and under the supervision of an outside authority, the League of Nations. More than 2 years later, the League officially gave France the mandate, the authority to act on its behalf and in its best interest over Syria and Lebanon after several years of informal control. Article 1 of the Mandate Act of Syria and Lebanon states, However, the mandate's orders did not significantly change French policy because France still considered Syria and Lebanon to be colonies of their worldwide empire. Therefore, the mandate's orders were not followed through and neither organic law nor a system of government were established within the next 3 years. After nearly 20 years of the mandate, Syria remained without independence, without institutions of self-government, and without territorial unity. France acted as it pleased, knowing the League could do little to hold it accountable to the mandate. French administrators recognized the need for specific territories to be separate. Within the large mandate of Syria and Lebanon, France created semi-autonomous local states in order to determine clear borders and to set up communities that would protect minority rights, including the significant Turkish population. The Sanjak of Alexandretta was the best example of one of these semi-independent local states, even though there were issues. Through various decrees, the French High Commissioner had to narrowly balance between defining Alexandretta as a constituent element of the state of Aleppo invested with full internal autonomy and emphasizing Alexandretta's ties to the rest of Syria, reiterating the fact that the Sanjak's autonomy was only administrative, not political. However, this delicate balance would ultimately fail, and these different perspectives would spell trouble for the Sanjak in the future. The year 1921 was another step in establishing the Sanjak of Alexandretta as a particular entity. On 20th of October 1921, France and Turkey signed the Treaty of Ankara, popularly known as the Franklin-Bouillon Agreement after the chief French negotiator. In Article 7, Ankara formally recognized French rule over the Alexandretta district and became a guarantor of the autonomous administration there. The agreement terminated the state of war between the two countries and sketched out the frontier between Turkey and the French-mandated territory of Syria. According to Article 8 of the Ankara Agreement, the frontier began at a point south of Payash, 15 kilometers north of Iskenderun, or Alexandretta. With the Ankara Agreement, Turkey was satisfied not to fight over claiming the Sanjak's territory as its own, yet. The 1923 Treaty of Lausanne gave peace to the new Republic of Turkey and the Allied powers. Article 3 adopted the Ankara Agreement's Turkey-Syria border, confirming the Sanjak's place under the French mandate. Article 4 stipulated that the mandatory shall be responsible for seeing that no part of the territory of Syria and the Lebanon is ceded or leased in any way placed under the control of a foreign power. In Articles 16 and 27, the treaty divested Turkey of all sovereign or political rights and claims to territories from her. The French, the British, and the League of Nations involved in the decision to establish the Sanjak decided that it should not go under Turkish control. However, Turkey ambitiously sought to annex the Sanjak when the time was right. A move in this direction would soon be made.